With the race to the championship only 1 week away, it's time for the top 10 riders in the AMSOIL Arenacross Series to build momentum. Who will be able to get it going in Southaven? Find out next. About a 15-minute drive from Memphis in Southaven, Mississippi for AMSOIL Arenacross, featuring Ricky Carmichael's Road to Supercross on Fox Sports 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Landers Center. Robbie Floyd with Daniel Blair as we prepare to race for the championship next week. This week, it's about building momentum, and the guy who's done that the best lately has been Kyle Regal. In the past 10 main events, he's finished on the podium every single time but once.
Yeah, statistically speaking, that's incredible. Kyle's been on fire, riding at another level than the rest of the competition. He's got his bike figured out. He's got his starts figured out. And if you look at Matt Gerke, he's the next best guy with 5 out of 10 podiums. That's not going to get it done.
And fourth is the best after that. So it's about building momentum as we race to the championship. There's still time before that championship, but we'll see if Kyle can keep that streak going here tonight in Mississippi. Looking at the format, you have heat races. If you don't qualify in your heat races, you have to ride a last chance qualifier. If you make it through either one of those, you have 2 main events, point-paying main events, trying to move on to that championship. Looking back at last night's main event, too, Gavin Faith with the whole shot. Watch out, Matt Gerke. He goes down with Corey Green.
Yeah, brought him down in the first turn with him, but out front looking clean. Gavin Faith with his teammate on the Husqvarna, Kyle Regal. These guys got away from the mess early.
The Tyloo Tough Racing teammates trying to check out. Bobby Canary gets by Jared Steinke, takes over position, and hammers his way through the whoops.
Yeah, Bobby looking better and better each and every week, but Kyle Regal looking very consistent, running that red plate, keeping that points lead nice and firm out front.
What was interesting, he was in second place. And the top 3 guys are battling for the overall, and you see Jacob Hayes working by Steinke there. The top 3 guys were 3-1, 2-2, 1-3. I mean, that's a tie.
Yeah, an early race mistake for Kyle Regal put him back in the pack a little ways, but he was able to get back by blows, putting himself in position to possibly get that overall.
Bobby Canary as well goes by blows. Now, he's riding injured, so, we're not seeing him 100%.
No, Chris Blows is using this race to get himself back on track, but Gavin Faith with an impressive win, but getting himself second overall in the night.
That's because his teammate Kyle Regal takes the overall. He gets a second main one, second main event 2, but he wins the head-to-head matchup. That's how important it is. Looking at the championship points, Kyle Regal is now the series points leader with those 4 main event wins to his credit. Looking through the field, Corey Green sits in 10th place. That's the last guy that will race for the championship. Willie Browning is injured. He's the only guy that really had a shot at it. That was Kyle last night. Let's talk to him tonight. He's with Christy Lee.
Kyle, obviously a level of confidence comes with leading the current point standings and bearing the red number plates tonight just before the race to the championship. But how does this affect your mental game tonight and going into the next round once the points are reset?
Mentally, I'm just sticking to my plan. I've had a plan all year long, and that's just be smart, be consistent, and get good starts and hit the whoops good. And every weekend, that's all my focus points are, is executing that plan. And like you said, I got the red plate, really cool, but still racing like it's white, for sure.
Kyle, best of luck tonight.
Let's see how Kyle is so fast with our GoPro Track preview.
Yeah, long start up the center of the arena. We got a little bit of a bigger arena this week, allowing for some creative track design. A right-handed first corner, that's going to be very difficult for the guys. Look forward to seeing how they react to that. A tight left-hander into the whoop section. Now, these whoops are pretty big in practice. We'll have to see if they say the same tonight in the racing. A left-hand sweeper around the backside. A rhythm section with some options here. Triple, single will be the fastest way. A left-handed corner, you're going to cross over the finish line jump and turn right, sweeping it into the first corner.
One thing you may notice, instead of the 4-lane typical Arenacross track, we have 5 lanes here in Southaven.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of the riders after practice today, and they said this is one of the most fun tracks they've ridden on all season. The dirt is really good. The layout is fun. It should be some good racing.
Let's find out who gets the whole shot for heat race number 1. Matt Gerke, the number 2 pole. Oh, almost a false start by Corey Green and a lot of wheeling there.
Yeah, it looks like Steinke also kind of jumped at the gate right there. But look at that right-handed first corner. A little bit different strategy going in because your guys are coming in on their break now. But Kyle Regal, like always, getting the whole shot.
Well, Bobby Canary's been getting some good starts. He's up there in second on the outside. Looks like he may get passed by Gerke there. Canari's been getting the starts, but that's the one thing I think everybody behind didn't want to see, and that is Kyle Regal get another hole shot.
Yeah, but they're having to get used to it. The guy's hole shot almost every single race over the past few weekends, and he just looks flawless out front, gets himself up there where no trouble is, and it just seems to be his thing this year.
3 keys to victory. What did he say? Go fast, stay consistent, and hammer the whoops.
Yeah, and he's been doing those too, and it makes the life a lot easier when you're the guy out front every single time.
On board Kyle Regal, looking through the lens of the GoPro Hero 4, making that right-hand turn. Little hump there kind of kicks you up a bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a kicker on it too. You gotta be careful because you can clip your foot peg on. I seen guys doing that earlier today in practice, so you gotta be careful. It's the one spot on the track where you can't be too aggressive.
So Regal and Gerke sorting it out. The top 4 go to the Rocky Mountain ATV MC head-to-head bracket race. The top 7 move directly into the main events. Gerke's now starting to close in a little bit, I think, on Regal. Is he sizing him up here? Is he trying to watch his line?
He definitely is. He wants to use this opportunity to maybe find out what Regal's been doing. Regal won last night, so he knows this is the guy to beat at the moment. So if he can get close enough, he'll be able to see what lines he's taking, maybe take something different. Like there, we talked about this rhythm section having some options. Gerke looking for those options because he's going to need them later in the main events.
You saw 3 guys do that approach, that one straightaway a little differently, either jumping on and jumping off that section or just clearing that first kicker altogether. Bobby Canary not too far back there in third, not even seeing Corey Green in the picture right now.
Yeah, looks like the top 3 have broken away, but look at Gerke being aggressive up that inside. And see that line he was working on last lap worked to his advantage. He knew that he could get to the inside of him, and he executed it perfectly.
Did Kyle just give it up? Once he was on the outside, he knew he was stuck right there, or did Matt just pressure at that moment?
A little bit of both. I think Kyle knew he was there, and he knew that he was on the outside, so instead of fighting for it, he kind of just let him have it, which is a little bit suspect for Kyle, but, it was a great move for Matt, and he seems to be on rails in this heat race. He looked great in practice as well, but, man, he is moving right now.
Zachary Bishop Burnett back there in 6th place, Sizemore in 7th. Sizemore has been in the main events before, but Bishop Burnett, impressive, still standing in that top 7, trying to move directly into the mains. Bobby Canary on the Thermatech Yamaha, the FMC rider. I think he's still going to be one after this weekend that you can't count out because he's been faster than anybody any given moment. But I don't know if he has that consistency to stay on that ragged edge or not. It's his first year in Arenacross.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and find out. But I've been spending a lot of time with Bobby and really kind of picking his brain and figuring out his strategy moving forward. And he says he is waiting for this thing to reset. He's waiting for the race of the championship. He's using each and every night to figure out something new. That way, when the series starts over, he's able to make a run at this championship.
Nobody's figured it out better than Kyle Regal. He sits in 2nd right now, but he might want to follow the lines of Matt Gerke, make some adjustments because this is for gate position. You get in that top 7, you make it to the main. The higher you finish in your heat race sets you up for gate position in the main. Corey Green right now in 4th. If this is the fastest heat, that means he gets a 7th gate pick.
Yeah, and this start's going to be more valuable than ever to have a good gate pick with that right-handed first corner. You really want to be on the inside. So this heat race is important for many reasons. Number 1, gate pick. Number 2, getting yourself into the head-to-head bracket race because we saw last night Kyle Regal was able to win the overall because of his victory in the head-to-head bracket race.
White flag, we're on the last lap. Spotlight is on the leader, Matt Gerke, the 36 out of Temecula, California, on the Team Babbitt's Monster Energy AMSOIL Kawasaki. You see him jumping on and jumping off. You see Regal just clearing that section, but no problems for Gerke. Comes through the pack and takes the heat race win. Kyle Regal finishes 2nd. Bobby Canary crosses in 3rd. Corey Green, the other rider, moving on to that head-to-head bracket race. Throw in Jared Steinke, Drake Sizemore, and Zachary Bishop Burnett holds on for 7th. That's the final transfer. Tanner Moore and the rest have to ride the LCQ.
Matt, I paid special attention to you today in practice. Look very confident, look very fast, maybe the best we've seen you all year. Congratulations on the heat race win.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a bad day yesterday, just 2 first turn falls, but feeling really good on this track, and today I'm going to put it together.
Congratulations and good luck in the main events.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Gerke with a heat race win. We'll see our top qualifier, Gavin Faith, coming up next. It's time for heat race number 2. Let's find out who else qualifies into the main event. Robbie Floyd, Daniel Blair, Christy Lee down trackside. 15 riders, only 7 move to the main. The top 4 also, just like in heat race number 1, go to that Rocky Mountain ATV MC head-to-head bracket race.
Now, if I'm Kyle Regal, if I'm Matt Gerke, I'm watching this race because I want to see what happens on this start. We're talking about this right-handed first corner and how difficult this is. I'd be watching to see what happens here with Hayes, with Blows, with Faith, to see what happens.
6:17 was the fastest qualifier in day qualifiers earlier today, but he gets closed out. It looks like he's going to be at about 4th or 5th.
Wow, and Jacob Hayes from the very inside gate. See, now you're going to want to think in the main event, wow, Travis Sewell with the stuff pass. I was just about to say, if you're watching this heat race, you see that Jacob Hayes pulled that start from the very inside. So if you got first pick in the main, you might want to look at that spot.
Go that inside, cut a little bit farther to the inside. You can push somebody wide if you have to. Travis Sewell, where did he come from?
Man, riding aggressive. You know, this is a guy who we've known has always been real solid, real consistent, but he kind of quietly goes about his business.
The silent assassin.
Exactly, but he came out tonight and, man, laid it on Jacob Hayes right there, and he's out front looking great.
You know, he's in that race to the championship. Maybe we're starting to see, just like we talked about at the top of the show, that momentum building as we head to our final races, the playoffs, if you will.
Well, you got to remember, Travis came swinging in opening round. He won the first heat race in Cincinnati this year, so maybe he wants to end the regular season on that note as well. But I'll tell you what, with this race to the championship coming out, guys are starting to feel a little bit extra intensity, a little excitement, because they know this thing is all within their grasp. So Travis Sewell coming out with a little extra aggression, and he's looking awesome.
The Parts Unlimited Thor Woodstock KTM out of Westville, Indiana. Travis Sewell out in front of the guy who's won more main events than anyone this year, Gavin Faith.
Yeah, he's looking good right now. And Gavin Faith is looking good as well. You know, we saw him last night win that second main event. This guy's got a lot of momentum coming in right now, and I know he's very confident. He's happy with his bike. But Travis Sewell looking good out front. I know he's got his machine working well as well, the TZR machine. And he's looking good, but it looks like
he's
Faith
going too wide.
He did. You know what? And Faith set that up. Last lap, I noticed that he was kind of looking that inside. He just wasn't close enough. That lap, he was close enough, made the aggressive pass, gets himself back into the lead.
The left-hand turn before he lost the lead, he went wide as well. He was almost telegraphing it. I'm going wide, keeping my momentum, and Faith really took advantage. We're seeing Sewell now with the pressure. Looks like Jacob Hayes on the 2. He was the series points leader for most of this season, and now he moves into second.
Wow, that was an aggressive pass as well. And you can see there was a move being made before the rhythm section. Hayes tried to dart underneath him. Wasn't able to make the pass then, but it was enough to slow Sewell down. But look at Sewell.
There you go.
Same corner as he did on the start. Man, Travis is feeling it tonight. This is good. This is good timing for him, too, because like we talked about, the race of championships coming. This is the time of the season when you really want to be on your A game, and Sewell is looking maybe the best we've seen him in weeks.
Our buddy Jamie Bestwick would say, get some, son, because it looks like he wants a little something extra there. Unfortunately for him, he didn't have that momentum going in the whoop sections. He drops back to third. That is Sewell. Janolfi in the last spot on the 13 for the head-to-head bracket race. We're looking at Gavin Faith. He likes to wheel tap. Does that worry you at all, knowing that you have to hit the top of that jump with your front end even higher, lap after lap? Something could go wrong, or is it just he's so comfortable with it he's not even thinking about it?
Oh, he's definitely comfortable, and it's just rider preference. For me, I wouldn't like doing that because it's a move that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing. I would rather go to the outside and triple. But for him, he feels comfortable doing it. He's obviously able to do it in traffic. But the most important part of that is he's doing it on the inside. So he's able to do that rhythm section on a line that gives him the opportunity to make passes. You can't pass on the outside here. So for him to be able to do that on the inside, that could be valuable later.
Right, and he's not worried about passing when he's out in front, but it blocks that line for the guy to get underneath you.
It definitely does.
There's Sewell back in third, trying to close in on Jacob Hayes. He's a little over a second behind the leader. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to catch the leader with only about a lap and a half remaining in this one, but don't count anything out as the white flag is now out. We're on the last lap, lap 10 of this heat race number 2.
And Jacob Hayes is a guy who really wants to get his act together. He's had a couple tough nights, but this is the opportunity. One night left before the race of the championship. Get things figured out. But someone who has it figured out is Gavin Faith.
Yeah, and he's trying to win this heat race, trying to be the quickest heat race because he wants first pick on the gate. Checkered flag comes out for Faith taking the win. He was our top day qualifier today, takes the win in Heat 2. Hayes, Sewell, and Blows will go to the head-to-head bracket race. Williamson and Glenn on the dirt bike Mike's machine, rounding out the field, moving to the main events.
Gavin, congratulations. We've definitely seen some momentum building over the last few weeks with you, and you looked really good last night. You looked great tonight. Congratulations on the heat race win.
Yeah, I think we got out to a decent start and made my way past Sewell and got in the lead and just rode on laps. So it was good.
What's it going to take to get the job done tonight?
I'm going to have to get this Tyler Husqvarna off the line, and if I can get in the lead, I I feel like it shouldn't be a problem. And we got the head-to-head coming up, so hopefully we can get a win there, and hopefully we can have a good night.
All right, congratulations and good luck in the main events.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We've already crowned one champion, David Ginolfi, now the two-time East Coast Lights champion. We'll hear more from him when we return. The future stars of Arenacross get to be part of the show. Kids I remember back in the day, like Robbie Rayner, Trey Kennard, Cody Gilmore, throwing Sean Hackley, and last but not least, a guy who's racing tonight, Bobby Canary. I remember him doing that catapult on a 60. It's cool to see it. Before we get to the racing, let's go down to the two-time East Coast Lights champ.
Dave, obviously an added challenge tonight with a right-hand turn right out of the start gate. Not a lot of room for passing opportunities and a very limited space for riders in that turn alone. Tell us about some of the challenges.
Yeah, definitely like you said, it's our first right-hander of the year. It's tricky because you're off the brake, where in a left-hand corner you're on the rear brake. Coming into a right, you don't have that rear brake. So it's definitely tough, and with it being narrow, there's really only two options with going outside, but someone on the inside could sneak around, or if you really have a really good start, you could hit the whole berm and possibly triple in the rhythm, which would be awesome.
Well, you guys definitely saw in those first two heat races how tough this first turn is in tonight's racing. Thanks a lot, Dave, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Time for the Rocky Mountain ATV MC head-to-head challenge. Simple. 2 laps. You race against your buddy, or maybe he's not your buddy, and one walks out and moves to the next round. And it's good for one championship point making it to this round, and it's good for another one to win the overall.
And Matt Durkee and Travis Sewell taking off. Wow, great start from Sewell. Moved right over him. And look at the strategy coming into this first corner. They're trying to figure. Wow, Durkee was able to triple from the outside right there.
That's what David said to do. Oh! Get some.
I almost feel like Sewell let him by just so he could hit him. I'll tell you, if I'm on the track right now with Travis Sewell, I am watching out in the left-hander before the whoops. He's got dude's numbers in that corner.
I'm watching out in every turn. Yeah, lets him go wide. All right, you take it wide. Because guess where I'm going? Inside.
What a great move by Travis Sewell. He's got things figured out right there. Yeah, I'd be careful if I'm in front of him right there.
It was a low speed bump, though. At least the checker flag comes out. He moves on to the next round. Gavin Faith on the Tylube Honda. That's him on the 617 to the right. The Babbitt's Monster Energy Amsoil Kawasaki of Jacob Hayes on the left. Let's find out who wants to go where into this right-hand first turn. Jacob gets the start. I'm saying he goes inside.
Well, he did, but he went a little bit wide and Faith him. See, that's the thing with this one-on-one right here. You're able to be a little bit more creative.
We saw what happens when you go wide. He didn't hit him hard enough.
No, he did. He should have stuck him all the way in the berm. He would have been able to keep it. But that first turn is so different. And here's Hayes going up the inside. Look.
Hey, Gavin knew exactly what he was doing. He looks over and starts closing him in the instant he saw that.
He did. He closed him down, gave Hayes not a chance to make the pass.
So the final is set. Gavin Faith, Travis Sewell, head-to-head. Who's going to take that championship point? This is going to be a good one. Both of these guys have been involved with some bump and run.
Yeah, and with each other. Look back to that first heat race of the night. Sewell gave him some in that corner. So both of these guys right now, they already know each other's game a little bit. We'll have to see what happens.
Sewell sets up on the outside, Faith on that very inside. If you go inside, you better go really inside. Oh, look at the 7 going way wide.
Yeah, he squared it up, though, and now let's see if he does his move, his classic to the inside move.
He set him up for it.
And I can't believe Faith left it open. He had to have known it was coming. He's been doing that line all night, but he's still got a lap and a half to make something happen. But Sewell, man, he's got that corner figured out.
He passed Sewell in the heat race. Let's see if he can do it again here in the head-to-head bracket race. White flag out. If he's going to do it, he's got to do it this lap.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see what's going to happen in this corner before the whoops. That's where the passing has been made. See Sewell cover his inside line. Faith says, you know what? I'm going to go wide. I'm going to square up and get a run.
He's got the run. He's on the inside, and he makes the pass.
But Sewell squares up and gets him.
They're side by side
in the last corner.
But one's going to be on the inside. You can hold him, and there goes Faith to the inside. Drag race, and Travis Sewell takes his first head-to-head challenge race. That was an awesome race. That's why you got to love the head-to-head bracket race. Travis Sewell wins that one. I can't wait for the last chance qualifier. Cool to see the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross paying dividends. One of our early qualifiers this year is welcome back to Amsoil Arenacross.
I started doing the road to Supercross to get my Supercross license because that's been the dream my whole life, to do Supercross. In the professional level, the intensity is way higher than the amateurs. In the amateurs, if you just show a wheel, they'll get out of your way. And the pros, they will move you out of the way. I grew up on Arenacross really, so I was a little ahead of the progress. I had a little experience on roughness and all that, but it is another level on their Canaries and all of them because they're all really aggressive, and even if you're a teammate, he'll still push you out of the way, but he's an awesome rider. I'm glad to be on the team with him, and Bobby kind of got to know me a little bit, and now that I'm on the team with him, he's giving me tips where to go in the races and what to do better because he's such an experienced rider. The goal for the 2015 season is to get a podium in the Premier class. That's really the goal. I mean, a win would be nice, but it is going to be tough since it's my first year. I'm a rookie, I'm young. I'm probably one of the youngest riders in the Premier class. But the goal is to mostly get a podium for the team and for myself, and hopefully come back next year and then maybe win the championship next year.
I like Josh's attitude. Now it's time for the last chance qualifier. It is just that, your last chance to qualify if you've not done so to make it into the main events. The DC Shoes Defy Convention LCQ. Boy, they're holding that gate a while. And it's a full field heading into a right-hand turn. Remember, no brake. Or not much unless you got your foot on that peg.
Yep, and it was Tanner Moore up the inside. That inside gate is proven to be valuable, but he gets past in the rhythm section by 7:23 of
Benjamin Nelko out of Pennsylvania on the team Dirt Bike Mike KTM, and that would be the second Dirt Bike Mike rider to make it if he holds on to that position.
Yeah, but Tanner Moore sitting back in second place, and he had that hole shot, but he kind of just was a little bit, I'd say, a little unaggressive in the first turn. He could have stuck it in a little bit harder, but he's still in a position to make the main. He's in second, but if I'm him right now, I'm going to try to make the pass and run away, because the last thing you want to do in the LCQ is be the guy in the bubble.
Dirt Bike Mike is a motocross school, and I think they're going to be working on some whoops next week.
Yeah, he was drifting wide right there. You could tell for the last 4 or 5 of them, he was just trying to hold himself on the track and not grab one of those tough blocks.
Fighting it. I think the word you were looking for was tentative. You know, going into that first turn, if you're tentative going into the whoops, you get the bad effects as well.
Oh, definitely you do. The whoop section is one of those sections where you have this like little bit of a fear of them because you don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to kick you, if they're going to swap you. But if you come in aggressive, that's usually the way you can get through them. So it's tough for these guys, though, to find that confidence in such a tough section.
This is the race you don't want to be in, but when you have guys battling for that final transfer, as you're seeing right now, and a lot of these guys know each other. I talk about 1 or 2 riders. I think 3 of our top 5 are Dirt Bike Mike riders, and look at them side by side. The 8:49 of Elliott now. He's been the guy on the move.
Makes the pass. You know, he was in 5th a lap ago, and he was able to make 3 moves and get himself into position. That's some real aggressive riding. And, you know, he looked good in practice as well today. I think he qualified 16th. This kid's been looking good each week, getting a little bit better, and now he's going to put himself in position to possibly make this main event.
Tanner Moore out in front out of Auburn, Kansas on a KTM. Quite a few KTMs in the field as well. You just got to get in that LCQ. It didn't make any difference where you get into the main event. You have to get in the main event if you're going to finish well.
Yeah, well, if you're 6th or 7th in your heat race, you qualify for the main event, but you're going to be back row. So these guys that qualify here in the top 2, they'll be back row as well. So you're not really worried about gate pick. You don't really have a choice. It's just getting into the thing. So if you're Clay Elliott or you're Tanner Moore, you just want to escape this race, get in there and get those points in the main event, in the race that matters.
And crazy stuff happens. Those guys in the front row, we saw it in last night's race. You get pinched off, you go down. A guy on a second row can tuck underneath and get a top 3 start from a back row position.
Well, especially on a start like this where a lot of carnage can happen in the first turn, if you're back row and maybe a gap opens up, you can make something of that. So these guys want to get in this main event. They'll be in that second row, and hopefully something opens up for them and they can get a top 10 start and be on their way.
Moore and Elliott separating themselves from the field. They're trying to hold on to those 2 spots. I think Moore, they're having a little trouble in that whoop section. You don't want to let the front end drop, especially if you're out in front. But you don't want that one little hiccup as he takes a look behind, making sure he has that comfortable lead.
Exactly. Now, this is the final lap for him. And Tanner Moore, he wasn't with us in the beginning part of this series, but he's been here now maybe for 2 or 3 weeks. And I can tell he's gotten faster and faster each week as well. Looks good in the whoops. It's going to be a great ride for him. Hopefully he can finish out this lap and get himself into that main event.
And pair up with Clay Elliott on that Sports Center of Little Rock KTM. So white flag is out. Now it's the checker flag. He does make the main along with Clay Elliott. Unfortunately, Jason McConnell, Jake Locks, Andrew Pierce, not going to make the main. The fields are set. Who's going to win this thing? Everybody's having a great time at the Lenders Center. Come party with us. That's our motto, and we hope to see you in an Amsoil Arenacross event. Before the race, let's go down to Christy.
Travis Sewell on the number 7 bike riding more aggressive than ever tonight. When I caught up with him earlier, just after his bracket race win, he said he's struggled this season a lot to find that confidence, especially earlier in the year, suffering from a 3-week battle with the flu. Now he feels like he's regained that confidence, and he's finally searching for that first podium finish this season, and that 4th place just isn't going to cut it anymore.
Thanks, Christy. You got to have that attitude. I'm done with 4th. I need to get on that podium. Heck, I need to win one. We'll see if he can do just that. Matt Gerke and Gavin Faith were your 2 heat race winners. They get the top 2 picks on the gate, but we know that gate can do crazy things. Let's see how they enter this right-hand turn.
Well, Matt Gerke chose that inside gate. It's been working, but wow, that was a bad jump out of the gate. He's going to have to just hope everyone pushes wide now. And
Jacob Hayes gets hooked, shoots to the outside.
Looks like he's got half the field with him, too, but Kyle Riegel escaping with the whole shot. Man, this guy is just unbelievable out of the gate.
What the heck happened in that first turn? And we talked about Gerke wanting that inside. He was 3rd in line going into that right-hander.
Yeah, he was. It looks like Hayes possibly hit the block inside in the very inside, and it slowed him down, and then everyone just piled in behind him. And man, for Kyle Riegel, for Chris Blows, this is a great start, a good opportunity, and especially when you got some of the top guys, Faith, Hayes, Canary, those guys are all in the back of the field.
Let's look at it one more time. Hayes just gets on that inside a little too hard, and he holds everybody up.
Yeah, and look at that. Faith, Canary, all these top guys, they're all sitting in that first corner. So unfortunate break for them, but a great break for Chris Blows, who's had a rough couple nights, and now he's got himself inside the top 2. And he's looking to definitely try to use this night to build some momentum and get back to where he was a few weeks back in Nashville.
Question what happened to Gerke. He was outside the top 10 in 8th right now. There's his teammate, Chris Blows. Oh, a little Yahoo effect right there. The legs almost said, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he kind of had a little bit of a washout on the downside of that triple. And this dirt, if you look at it, it looks very, very tacky, but it's not. It actually has a very silky layer on top, which makes it a little bit slick. So these guys, they're trying to be aggressive, but they have to watch that front end.
Our eyes are on Travis Sewell. He wants that podium, and he's in a podium position right now, sitting in 3rd on that number 7 KTM.
Yeah, he's looking great. He started out all night. He's been fast. He looked good in his heat race, looked good in the head-to-head. Now he's got himself in position to get a podium. His best finish is 2nd in Greensboro in 2014, so he knows what it's like to be on the podium. He knows what it's like to compete for a win. He just hasn't been able to do it so far this season, but I like the confidence in him. I like the aggressive. It's a perfect time of the season for him to get hot.
Do you think that's the key, though? You need that confidence. I think that might be the one piece of the puzzle, like Christy said, that he may be missing.
No, for sure. This racing is so mental. I mean, obviously you watch the guys. It's a physical sport, but things in your brain can really help you take that next step or hold you back. So with him, confidence is going to be the key to taking that next step.
On board with Kyle Riegel. What's going through his mind right now? I mean, he's been unstoppable. We spit those stats out. He hasn't finished off of the podium in almost 11 races. I mean, this is a guy who's been super consistent and consistently up front.
Yeah, not only that, but if we look back to the opening round in Cincinnati, Kyle Riegel wasn't even in the top 10 in points. So look at the turnaround where he's come from to start the season to where he is now. It's unbelievable.
Jacob Hayes kind of been going the other direction. Struggles as of late right now, trying to go inside of Corey Green. He's in that rut, and he comes out on top. But look at the 2 different lines.
Yep, he did the tap on the inside, but see, he's got that inside line. He's able to control the corner. And yeah, Jacob Hayes he's had a rough couple weeks, and I think he's been dealing with a little bit of a bike setup issue. I think he's got it figured out, though. He told me today after practice that he's really happy with the machine. He's got things figured out, and he just wants to use tonight to get back on track and get ready for the race of the championship.
Now we're seeing Bobby Canary in the picture, but he is a lapper. You see that blue flag waving, and unfortunately for him, he got the bad end of that deal. When Hayes went down and to the outside, who was on the outside? Bobby Canary.
Yeah, a tough break for him, and that's gonna affect his points a little bit, but like we said, it's gonna reset next weekend anyway. So what he wants to do right now is follow Kyle Riegel and see what this guy's been doing to be so dominant. And I know he's a lap down, so he's not worried about his position too much, but this is a chance to see the leader, see a guy who's been so dominant, figure out what he's doing, maybe incorporate that into his program and use it next weekend.
Look how jumbled it is right there through that catapult section, man. There's like 8 riders come through in about 1 second. Ooh, get a little front end highs. Riegel there. I think Canary maybe every bit as fast, if not faster than Regal is now, but it doesn't make a difference when you're a lap down. And there he goes, sticking a wheel in. Regal's going, get off me, man.
Yeah, I wonder what Kyle's thinking right now. He's thinking, who is this behind me? Is it Blows? Has he caught me? He looks back and goes, hey, I just lapped you. What are you doing? But like I said, Bobby's not going to waste this opportunity. He's going to figure out what Kyle's been doing, and I mean, maybe even try to get him back and, just get a little boost of confidence.
Hey, what, in NASCAR, whatever, they try and race back and get on that lead lap. It could happen. I'm not saying it will, but if he does get on that lead lap and there's a red flag, it could happen. They can start single file lines. So don't give up. Don't ever give up, especially in Arenacross. There's Chris Blows in second, about 2.5 seconds behind leader. It looks like he's almost on cruise control, other than a little bit of a flat landing right there.
Yeah, Chris is dealing with a little bit of a thumb injury right now, and I think what he's trying to do is just play it smart tonight and get through this race. He's had a rough season. If you look at how dominant he's been on some nights, he's had nights where things just haven't gone his way. And I know he's been dealing with a few nagging injuries. So what he wants to do on a night like tonight is use this as a weekend to kind of recover and kind of like let his body heal up, because next weekend it's on. He's not going to be able to ride this consistent. He's going to have to fight every lap of every moto. So right now he's going to take this second place and hopefully just use this weekend to regain some of that thunder he had early in the season.
We talked at the top of the show, building momentum. This guy's not building. He hasn't lost that momentum, and that's exactly what he's looking to do with only a couple of laps left here in Southaven main event number 1. Chris Blows talking about riding with that injury. Can you imagine facing all these obstacles knowing that your thumb's not there to hang on to the grip? That's the one thing that wraps around the handlebar. The other fingers hang on over the levers.
Exactly. And at the level that these guys are riding, at the speed they're going, I mean, you have to be so mentally focused on every inch of the track. And when you have an injury that's holding you back, I mean, it's very distracting. So for him to be able to do this good right now, it's an awesome performance. But speaking of awesome performance, Kyle Regal just on another level right now.
Kyle Regal blows through the whoops the final time. 2 more turns make that 1 more turn. He doubles, he triples, he takes a look to his left, and he sees his 5th main event victory. Checker flags for Kyle Regal. A trio of Kawasaki teammates. Blows finishes in second, Hayes in third, Matt Gerke moves his way up into 4th. Throw in Kyle Regal's teammate Gavin Fade. That rounds out your top 5. Bobby Canary works his way all the way up to 10th, even though he was a lap down. Let's go down to Christy.
Kyle, congrats on the main 1 win. How do you feel about picking the 8 with the invert, especially with such a difficult start?
Yeah, it's going to be tough on the outside, but I made it happen last night. Let's see if we can do it again. Obviously, I'd love to pick the 0, but sometimes 33% chance I'm going to get one of these numbers, and I'll take an 8 over 16 any day.
You say that now, but sometimes the 8 is not so great. It was so much fun the first time. Let's do it again. Main event 2 about to get underway. Robbie Floyd, Daniel Blair, Christy Lee with you. Yep, you see the winner of main 1. He picks either a 0, an 8, or a 16. The 8 was picked, so we flip-flopped that front row. David Genovi, you get first pick on the gate.
And he chooses the far outside. Looks like he chose gate 7. I don't know what the strategy is behind that. We'll have to see if it works, but
I want to say no.
No, it didn't work out. But Jacob Hayes right from the middle, Well,
oh, man, is this bumper cars or Amsoil Arenacross? Look at them. They were tight.
Man, Hayes is struggling in that first. Well, he ends up fighting his way back into the lead, but, man, he's been struggling getting through that first turn. Both main events, he had good starts, and just something about that right-hand corner is not working out for him.
It was the opposite of the first one. The first one, he came in too hot, couldn't stop it. That time it was more stop and then go.
Yeah, but he was lucky. He was aggressive in the second corner, put himself back in the lead. And now this is a guy right here who needs to use this main event to get back on track. He had the red plate a couple weeks ago, but he's lost track of that. 6 main event wins on the year. He wants number 7 right now, but he better get on the move because Matt Gerke's coming.
Yeah, and he had a get off last night in the rhythm section, almost went into the mechanics area. So, I mean, things just haven't been flowing right for Jacob Hayes. His teammates behind him, Gerke in second, Blows in third. Regal, who won main event 1, back and forth with his teammate, knocking on his door.
Yeah, but with Arenacross, you have the opportunity. There's so many main events. You could very quickly turn your season around. One good ride, and you're right back in it. Kyle Regal from the outside makes the pass, and this is a guy who doesn't need one good main event. He's had plenty over the last few weeks.
Oh, having to look over to the left. Blows gets past. He just lost a little bit of rhythm there, and Gavin Faith takes advantage quickly.
Yeah, Bloss was on that outside line, kind of had a rough run through that section, wasn't able to get the drive on that last triple, and was passed by Faith. But these two Babbitt's teammates out front, these are both guys that, remember, at one point, they were sharing the red plate. These were the 2 points leaders, but they both had fallen off, so now they're using this opportunity to get out front and try to find some sort of momentum so that next weekend when they race the championship, they can be right back in it and try to get that red plate back.
This is pride for the overall, and right now, Jacob Hayes not looking too bad, but remember, he finished, third that first main. He's in first now. You see Gerke, who had to work his way all the way up just to get in near that top 5, and man, they're swapping back and forth. You don't want to take your teammate out.
No, but he made the pass on that inside. We've seen that now all night long. If you can get that rhythm on the inside, that's the place you want to pass in this track. Hayes was going to the outside, getting the run for the triple-triple. Gerke was bouncing up the first 3, and it worked. Gavin Faith used it earlier in the night, and now Gerke's using it here tonight, so that seems to be the way through the section.
4th and the 1st. You can see the way that the overall's kind of playing out. Jacob Hayes needs to turn it back on. He can still win this overall if he can get 3-1 main event scored.
Yeah, and it's still early in this race, so he has time to recover. He just got to figure that rhythm section out and get back up to his teammate and try to make a pass.
Gavin Faith trying to work his way up. He's currently in 4th. His teammate still just in front of him. You see Kyle Riegel on the 4. He has a chance at this main event as well. 1-3 could do it.
Yeah, but he wants more than 1-3. This is a guy who's been walking around with some serious confidence. He's been on the podium, like we said, 9 out of the past 10 main events, but he wants wins. This guy is on another level right now. He sees
those
the 2 guys.
cross ruts?
Yes, those cross ruts are getting deeper, and that's a thing in that rhythm section. Guys have been having a struggle all weekend with that. So if the problem is you're coming out of the rhythm section on the left, but you're trying to get right for the next section. So it's very difficult in those ruts, landing in between that rhythm. You got to do it just right.
Great shots by the GoPro Hero 4. Yeah, I did not see that from our typical camera position right there, but you saw those ruts weren't facing straight up the face of those jumps. That might be why we've seen guys have problems this weekend.
But out front right now, Matt Gerke having no problems. And now if you're Jacob Hayes right now, you got to deal with the ruts. You got to deal with the rhythm section. But more importantly, you got to watch out for lap traffic. He's in a sandwich right now between Sizemore and Elliott, and it's allowing Riegel to get right up on the rear tire of him.
Yeah, you see the white front fender sticking his nose in there. That's the 4 of Kyle Riegel, who won main event number 1. The blue flag's waving. That's saying, hey, there's a race going on, and you're not in it. But Riegel trying to charge up and get up in that top 2 positions, that will guarantee him the overall.
Yeah, and Hayes is going to want to fight back, but it looks like Gerke's kind of opened up a little bit of a gap, so right now the battle is on for second. And Riegel actually got pretty close that last lap, but I think the lap traffic kind of screwed him up as well. So he kind of lost track of Hayes, and now he's going to have to worry about Faith, who's coming up on him.
Yeah, his teammate. I don't think you're going to get much many problems from his own teammate this far into the season, knowing that your race to the championship starts next week. Now we're seeing even more pressure. Gerke has Jacob Hayes, his teammate, on the inside. Well, forget that teammate thing. We've got to pass for the lead.
Wow, and the lap traffic, after ruining Jacob Hayes' momentum 2 laps ago, he uses it to his advantage. Gerke wasn't able to do anything in that rhythm section. Hayes just went to the outside, squared him up. But look at Gerke says, no, I don't think so. I want the lead right back, and he takes it back.
Shut him down, Charlie Brown. Look at that. And now he rhythms nice and tries putting a lap rider in between himself. Nope, couldn't do it. Hayes still right there.
And it's crazy to think that as this track has changed throughout the night and as the obstacles have gotten more difficult, the most difficult obstacle has been the lap traffic. And if you're the leader, it's the worst because these guys don't really know you're coming. They're in their own race,
right.
Then all of a sudden you come up on them, and so the guy in the front always has the most difficult time going through lap traffic.
Because he's the first one that gets to face it. So, yeah, if you're the guy behind, that's your time to strike. But right now, Gerke just trying to click off fast laps and put more distance between himself and Hayes. As we see the 63 of Blows closing in, and man, that track starting to G out in that spot. GA is starting to really compress the suspension. You talked, it's kind of, it looks hard packed, but it's not that hard packed right there.
No, it's not. Oh, an aggressive pass. Kyle Riegel on Hayes. And look at Faith takes advantage of it and tries to get his teammate as well. Wow, Hayes, that was a horrible section for him. Looks like Riegel went to the inside, made the pass, slowed him down in the rhythm, and Faith took advantage.
Lost 2 positions in 1 turn. Matt Gerke has the white flag out. The spotlight is on him. Matt Gerke is looking to match the 5 main event wins that Kyle Riegel has, and he does just that, taking it here in Southaven, main event number 2. Oh, big fist pump for Riegel. I think he's happy with second. He is the series points leader, and that gives him the overall as well. Gerke, Regal, and Faith the top three. Canary in fifth. David Ginolfi got first pick in that second main event, but it didn't work out for him on the start. Looking at the overall tallies, Regal with that move into second guaranteed him a spot on the top of the podium. Another consistent night for Kyle Regal. Gerke, Hayes, Faith, these guys are going to be in it for the championship. Even with his struggles, Jacob Hayes still finishes third overall.
Jacob Hayes, you seemed to struggle in the first main event, getting tangled up, especially in that first turn, but you were able to overcome in the second main event and ride a lot stronger. What did you learn in that first event that you applied to the second race?
Well, the first main event, I actually went down in the first turn, got my hands blew off the bars, and actually salvaged it. I don't know how, but came back to third, which rode pretty good in that race. And then that main event, I think Regal picked the invert, or I'm not sure who won the main event, and we picked 8, so I was stuck on the outside and actually pulled a good start, got the whole shot and led some laps. And then my teammate Matt Gorky was riding really good. He got by me, got into lappers. I got back by him. He got back by me, and I just tighten up, man. The lappers kind of get a little wild, so it gets dicey. So just rode tight, but after the past couple weekends I've been having, this is solid going into the race to the championship. So next weekend, gloves are off, fists are coming out, and basically everything's been building up till now.
Matt Gerke had the main event to win, but it was that fourth place that killed him for the overall.
Matt, congratulations on your second overall finish, your first season with Amsoil Arenacross this year. What have you learned thus far this season that will help you the most going into the race to the championship?
Well, at the beginning of the season, I learned how aggressive it was, and then I got aggressive, but I'm starting to learn I need to back it down sometimes, not be too aggressive, because I've gone down a lot being too aggressive. And I'm starting to figure it out, and we got the championship run next week, so I think I'm good for that.
Well, it was business as usual for the Tyloob Husqvarna of Kyle Regal. He takes a win in a second and the overall.
Kyle, obviously a strong race for that second main tonight, but it looked like you sat in the third or fourth position. Was that strategic, or were you waiting for the right opportunity to pass?
Really, I got a lot of experience from last year, and I learned a lot, and just watching the tapes and stuff like that. And sometimes you got to let the race come to you. I know they ran into lappers, and I was doing that in the first race. And so as soon as I ran into lappers, I closed in on them and just really waited for a good opportunity, and ran alongside of them in the whoops, and I got pushed out towards the concrete a little bit, and I'd already been there earlier in the race, so I knew it was a good square up line, and took advantage of him, then squared him back up, and just made it so he couldn't jump in. And it was 2 laps to go, so there's really not much you can do after that. Just had to put my head down for a lap and hold him off, and pays off. I got the overall.
It was a solid night for Regal. Yep, he's the points leader heading into that race for the championship. But wipe all this out. This means nothing anymore. You had to get into that 10. Willie Browning, Ginolfi, Herline, they didn't make it. And they're going to have to watch on the sidelines to see who's going to win this championship. Make sure you hashtag AX on Fox when we see you at the New Orleans Smoothie King Center, our next stop for Amsoil Arenacross. For Daniel Blair and Chrissy Lee, I'm Robbie Floyd. We'll see you next time, because we're racing to the championship.